Next is hydrogen bonded molecular solid. Hydrogen bonded molecular solid. Molecular solid or hydrogen bonding containing molecular solid. So if we talk about the constituent particles of this solid, constituent particles will be those in which hydrogen bonding is possible. So before discussing about the constituent particles of hydrogen bonded molecular solids, first I will discuss in brief when hydrogen bond will take place. Whenever hydrogen is attached with any of these elements, fluorine, oxygen and nitrogen, when this hydrogen is bonded with any of these elements in any molecule, in that case hydrogen bonding takes place. These are called most electronegative elements of periodic table. So when hydrogen is bonded with any of these three elements, any one of these three elements, in that case the molecule will contain hydrogen bonding. For example, if we take H2O, in H2O we can see that hydrogen is bonded with oxygen, and due to that it acquires partial negative charge and hydrogen acquires partial positive charge. So when it will come in contact with another water molecules, there will be a very strong dipole-dipole attraction, and this special kind of dipole-dipole attraction is called hydrogen bonding. Hydrogen bonding. Similar hydrogen bonding takes place in HF, hydrogen fluoride, in NH3, because hydrogen here is bonded with higher electronegative element fluorine, here hydrogen is bonded with nitrogen. So if we talk about the constituent particles of hydrogen bonded molecular solids, then the constituent particles will be HF, maybe NH3, H2O, etc. or any molecule in which hydrogen is bonded with oxygen, fluorine or nitrogen. All those molecules can be constituent particles of molecular solid. Now binding force. We talk about the binding force, as the name itself describing the binding force, that binding force is hydrogen bond. And what kind of hydrogen bond? This is intermolecular hydrogen bonding. Intermolecular hydrogen bonding. Hydrogen bonding is responsible for binding constituent particles. Now if we talk about the physical properties, they are usually soft molecules containing, they are not hard, soft. If we talk about melting and boiling point, it is higher than that of non-polar and polar molecular solids. Higher than, it is low. Melting and boiling point is low, but higher than polar and non-polar molecular solids. Polar and non-polar molecular solid. What can be the example of this? If we talk about the example, H2O in ice, NH3 in solid state. All these are examples of solid state. HF in solid state, etc. These are the examples of hydrogen bonded molecular solids. Now if we see all these three kinds, and if we compare the electrical conductivity, in ionic solid we know that all were conductor of electricity in solution form. In solid state, or if it is not dipped in polar solvent, in that case ionic solid will not show any conductivity. Similarly, if we talk about the conductivity of this molecular solid, these molecular solids are insulator, because they do not furnish ions inside the solution. Molecular solids are insulator. They are insulator, means they do not conduct electricity. Now next one is network or covalent solid. Network of covalent solid. The constituent particles, we talk about the constituent particles of these solids. Then these constituent particles are carbon in case of diamond, as well as in graphite. In graphite, SiC, silicon carbide, SiN. All these shows network or covalent solid. Silicon carbide, and this is silicon nitride. So in these there is covalent or network solid. So what are the binding force? Binding force in case of network solid is covalent bond. Covalent bond. And due to this binding force, we know that covalent bond is very strong bond. So this bond results in some peculiar physical properties of these materials. If we talk about the physical properties, then they have, first is very high melting and boiling point. They have very high melting point and boiling point. Second property is they are insulator of electricity. They are insulator, but one exception is there. That exception is graphite. Exception is graphite. Usually they are insulator, but exception is graphite. In graphite, conductivity takes place. Current can flow through the graphite. So exception is graphite. Third property is they are very hard. Very hard. So this was the covalent or network solid. The best example is diamond, graphite. In diamond and graphite, we know that in case of diamond, one carbon is bonded with 4 different carbon, and it results in formation of a network, and that's why it is called network or covalent solid. In case of graphite, there is attraction force between different layers of graphite. Hexagonal layers are there, and between these hexagonal layers, weak van der Waals force of attraction takes place, and that's why graphite is used as a lubricant. So this was network and covalent solid. Next is metallic solid. Metallic solid. We all know that in metal, the last electron of metal is loosely bonded with the nucleus, and due to which it can easily lose that electrons. And if we talk about in terms of conduction band, the last electron is always present in conduction band of metal. If this is a nucleus and this is the last electron, the attraction force between the nucleus and last electron is very less, and because of that, this electron is free to move. And because of this behavior of metal, the whole metal crystal behaves in different way. When this electron will move away from the atom, suppose this is our atom, and the last electron moved away from this atom will acquire positive charge. Similarly, many atoms will be there in any crystal. So all atoms will acquire positive charge with the liberation of electron, and it results in a, a sea of electron. Means you have to imagine a sea. एक ऐसे समंदर की कल्पना करना है, ऐसे सागर की कल्पना करना है जो इलेक्ट्रॉन का है, sea of electron, and in this sea of electron the nucleus of atom floats. And in this sea of electron, nucleus of atom floats. This is the model of metal. So in this model, one important thing is that this electron, the last loosely bonded electron of metal, is not only bonded with only one nucleus, it is bonded with many other nucleus. Or we can say that this electron moves in a common electric field of all these nucleus, and because of that this electron causes a kind of binding between all these nucleus, and this binding is called, in case of metal, metallic bond. This binding is called metallic bond, and this metallic bond is very strong in case of metal. So due to presence of number of free electrons in metallic solid, this metal conducts electricity. If we will apply potential difference across this metal, then in physics you have studied, when we will apply the potential difference, electron always moves from low potential to high potential. So all the randomly electrons moving here, we know that electron in metallic crystal moves randomly. Its movement is not in a specific direction, its movement is random, and due to that the net flow of current through the metal is zero. But when we applied any electric field across the metallic conductor, in that case all electron moves in definite direction, that is from low potential region to high potential region. All electron will start to move from low potential region to high potential region, and because of this movement of free electrons in metallic crystal, flow of current take place. So metal is conductor of electricity and heat because of this free mobile electrons. If we heat this metal, then this metal will receive heat energy, and by absorbing this heat energy, this electron will start to move and will cause thermal conductivity. So we can say here that whether we talk about the thermal conductivity or electrical conductivity in metallic metallic solid, in all these two type of metallic conduction is because of free mobile electrons. In metallic solid, if we talk about the constituent particles, constituent particle of metallic solid will be, constituent particles of metallic solid will be Fe, Cu, etc. The binding force between them will be, binding force in case of metallic bond will be, metallic solid will be metallic bond. This is the binding force. If we talk about the physical properties, of this solid, these solids are hard, very hard and lustrous, Second property is it has very high melting and boiling point, very high melting point and boiling point, and it conducts electricity. So these were the classification of crystalline solid. So we brief it. Crystalline solid is classified basically into ionic solid, molecular solid, covalent or network solid, and metallic solid. Ionic solid, in ionic solid, binding force is electrostatic force of attraction, which causes a very strong force between the constituent particles, and it results in hard and brittle nature. Ionic solid is insoluble in non-polar solvent but soluble in polar solvent. It conducts electricity in aqueous state or molten state but does not conduct electricity in case of solid state, because in solid state for conduction of electricity free mobile ions are not available. Now if we come to molecular solid, in molecular solid constituent particles are molecules, and molecular solids are classified into three types, that is non-polar molecular solids, polar molecular solids, and hydrogen bonded molecular solid. In case of studying non-polar molecular solid, the binding force between the molecule is or constituent particle is weak London dispersion force. This force arises due to very close contact of the molecules, that is in the range of 10 to the power minus 6 picometer. When molecules will come that much close, only then this force will start to operate, and this force is very weak force, also known as dipole induced dipole attraction. And due to this weak force, the melting and boiling point of this non-polar molecular solids are very less, very low, and it is highly soft because of this binding force. Now if we come to polar molecular solid, in polar molecular solid constituent particles are polar molecules like HCl, H2O, in which already polarity exists due to electronegativity difference between the elements of molecule. One having more electronegative attracts said pair of electron and acquires partial negative charge, while other less electronegative element acquires partial positive charge, and that's why they are polar. So in molecular polar solid, there will be binding force, and that binding force will be dipole-dipole attraction. This dipole-dipole attraction is stronger as compared to London force. So melting and boiling point of polar molecular solid will be higher in comparison to the non-polar molecular solid, and it will be soft. Examples of these polar molecular solids are HCl in solid state, HF in solid state. If we solidify all these, ice is the best and most available example of this polar molecular solid. You can see ice in your fridge. So these are the molecular solids with polar molecules. Now if we come to next hydrogen bonded molecular solid. In hydrogen bonded molecular solid, the binding force is hydrogen bond, and this hydrogen bond arises due to hydrogen bonding between two molecules, and this hydrogen bonding arises due to bonding of hydrogen with fluorine, oxygen and nitrogen. Whenever hydrogen will be bonded with fluorine, oxygen and nitrogen, which is most electronegative element in the periodic table, in that case the molecule acquires partial positive and negative charge, that is polarity develops in the molecule, and because of that polarity the attraction between the molecules becomes very high, and this special kind of dipole-dipole attraction is known as hydrogen bonding. So binding force in hydrogen bonded molecular solid is hydrogen bonding. Example is ice. NH3, in NH3 also hydrogen bonding takes place, in HF also hydrogen bonding takes place. So the physical properties, if we discuss about the physical properties of hydrogen bonded molecular solid, again it will have low melting and boiling point but higher than polar molecular solids and non-polar molecular solids, because here we know that in non-polar molecular solid there is London force which is very weak, so it's quite clear. But in case of polar molecular solid, the dipole-dipole attraction is less as compared to hydrogen bonding. That's why the melting and boiling point of hydrogen bonded molecular solid will be much higher as compared to polar molecular solid. Now next is covalent or network solid. In covalent and network solid, binding force is covalent bond, and the constituent particles are carbon in case of diamond and graphite, silicon carbide, aluminum nitride, silicon nitride. All these are examples of covalent or network solid. So in covalent or network solid, the binding force is covalent bond and it makes long network, long chain, and this long chain causes three-dimensional structure of this solid. This, due to covalent bond, this solid is very strong and melting and boiling point of these solids are very high. So in the next video lecture, we will discuss about the basic structure of solid, that is crystal lattice unit cell.